G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Excuse my croaky throat today. All this stress with moving and everything. And obviously my immunity system has suffered a bit. But anyway, now I am going to do a fireworks today. And I'm going to use my oval tray. And first of all, I'm going to divide my resin into these 3 cups. Don't put your cups on your mold, okay? Because the mold will pick up any indentation and you'll end up with rings from the bottom of your cup. So don't do that. Just move your mold out of the way and fill your cups. I have got the fast cure resin because that's the best one by Let's Resin. Best one for doing blooms and fireworks, things like that you want your white to spread. I'm going to keep in here, I'm going to put 40 grams and then the rest I'm going to just divide into my little cups here. So because it's really cold in Queensland, Australia, winter at the moment, I put 110 grams of A and 100 grams of B in my cup and I put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. And then I started the video. Well, then I stirred it. Put 110 of A, 110 of B, put in the microwave for 10 seconds, stirred it for 4 minutes, started the video, and then I'm going to divide it. Let's just pop 40 grams over here. I think I'm going to need 40 because I'm going to do a lot of dots. Oops, we've gone to 43. That's okay. And so that's for the white. Now, let's just divide this. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can just drop your inks into your clear resin. So, pour your resin into your mold and then drop inks into it. And you guys have seen me do that hundreds, if not thousands of times. So yeah, a lot of times. But today I want to add the color to my little cups here. So I'm going to do that. Get rid of that. And I'm using the Let's Resin alcohol inks. As I go through a colour, I take another one out of there. I'm almost out of my yellow. So I'm going to use yellow cerulean, which is kind of a bluey turquoise colour, and then magenta. So I'll give those a shake. And then I'm going to pour like a sort of like a rainbow effect, I guess. But we'll see. I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. Actually, maybe I want more of a blue. That's a bit more on the green side, that one. Only because I want the yellow and the blue to make a green. So I don't really want to add a green. So I've got the sky blue and I've got blue. I don't even think I've opened this one. No, yes, I have. Okay. We'll do a drop of blue. The sky blue is also really pretty. It's just a little bit lighter in colour. So that's that. Let's do the magenta. I don't want the colours too dark. Just put a drop in because there's not much resin in each. It's probably only about, what do we got, 3, 6. It must be about 2 ounces, 60. About 60 grams in each. So what I want to do is, instead of putting my resin in the bubble removing machine, and then adding the colour and stirring the colour in, because then I just add more bubbles. I'm going to do this, add my colour, and then I'm going to put it in the machine. Oh no, I don't want to, no. Two's too much. Wipe that off. It's just when I looked at the magenta, I thought, yeah, the blue could do with a little bit more. All right, so it's starting to warm up already. So I am just going to pop these into my Let's Resin bubble removing machine just for 5 minutes. And then I think by the time I've done that, we'll be at 35 degrees and we'll be ready to pour. While that's doing that, let's get our white organized. So we're using the Bloom white pigment paste, and I've got 40 grams in there, so we'll do 4 drops 1, give it a squeeze, wait for the drop to come, and then you release your finger, otherwise you'll get heaps coming out. So give it a squeeze and then let go. 3, 4. Alright, and a twist. Put back in there, upside down. Oh, I haven't even got my piping bag out yet. Everything's in a different spot in my new studio. I'm still like, oh, where is everything? Where am I? I'll work it out. Where did I put my piping bags? There's one. There's one. Alright, give this a stir. I'm keeping my eye on the resin that's over there doing its thing. Bubbles coming up. Colours look really pretty. Not too dark. They will lighten, you know, when the white hits them, but I think we'll get a really pretty sort of pastel kind of a colour from them. Make sure that's stirred really well. We don't want any streaks of white. It's a nice fluid paste though. It's not like a thick, heavy paste that's difficult to stir. It mixes in really well. I can just sit there. I've already trimmed this one down, which is a bonus. Pop that in there. I usually trim about 2 inches off the top of the bag because otherwise they're a bit big. Alright, so that can go in there. Give that a bit of a touch to get rid of some of those bubbles. That's nearly done. We'll pour this in here. Probably should have checked its temperature, shouldn't I? Anyway, it'll still warm up in the little cup there. So yeah, normally I would wait until it's at 35 degrees and then, you know, add my colours, but I wanted to put them in the vacuum chamber. Put our little mould back. Now this one's got a lower section. It's got a little rim around it, I guess. You could put stones and glitter and things like that in, but I think because it's going to be so busy with all the fireworks, all the dots, I'm just going to leave it plain. And now, as I was saying, normally I would, you know, mix my resin and then wait for it to get to 35 degrees in the cup before I then decanted it into the other cups or poured it in here. But because I wanted to add my colours and then put them in the bubble removing machine, I do need to wait now until it gets to temperature. And because I've decanted into the smaller, into the other cups, instead of the resin being this deep, which is going to cure much faster, the resin's only this deep, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So it's sitting at 33 degrees. So I'm going to wait now a few minutes, however long it takes to get to 35 degrees. And then we'll start pouring them in. I'm going to sort of just do blobs. And then, you know, the colours will kind of meld together and, you know, give other colours. The pink and the yellow will give an orange. The yellow and the blue will give a green. And then the pink and the blue will give a purple. So if you're using those primary colours, well, roughly, I mean, normally it would be red, but pink works just as well. You get those secondary colours, which is beautiful. And of course, if you want the alcohol inks from Let's Resin or the Fast Cure Resin, check out those links down below that I've popped in the description. And there's a coupon code too for you. You can save 10%. Right, I'll be back in a few minutes once this hits 35 degrees. All right. I think they're good. This one, it's got a slightly more resin in it, so it's a bit hotter. This one's got the least a bit, so it's a bit cooler. So I guess doing it this way, probably not the best, but it's what I chose to do. Only because they're all different temperatures now, and the white as well. The white's a different temperature. I did put that in the microwave for 5 seconds to try and heat it up a little bit. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Like I said, normally I would just wait till the whole cup came to 35 degrees and then decant, but I'm just going to do it this way. Keep a little bit in there. Hopefully I've got enough resin. Trying not to make too many bubbles. So this mold holds about 350 grams of resin. So yeah, 200 grams I've got in there at the moment. Well, I will have 200 grams. Hopefully that's going to be enough. It's not really looking like enough at the moment, but let's hope that I've made enough. I was just going by my notes as to how much resin this actually took, but maybe a little bit more. See, oh look, I haven't stirred that. Well, I think it's because of the colour on the edges of the cup there, on the sides of the cup. So you should probably not scrape. But hopefully I've got enough here. It does feel quite thick. So the magenta was coming up at being like 36 degrees. The yellow said it was only 32, and I thought, oh well, I better just start, hadn't I? Oh, I have got some bubbles in here. Let's get my little wipe out. Give it a light torch. I guess the other thing with you know, waiting until your resin is quite thick to decant, it's a little bit more difficult getting your bubbles out. As to, you know, instead of like if you waited, or if you didn't wait so long, you know, the resin's thinner, the bubbles come out more easily. But anyway, we're just going to go for this. I don't want to leave it any longer. And we'll just see what happens. There are a few bubbles in there. That feels quite warm. If your white resin's not warm enough and not thick enough, it kind of just drips out, and yeah, it's difficult to form a nice little dot. So I'll squeeze the top there so that I can snip that off. All right, and then wind it up all the way to get the air out. Let's see how we're going to go. All right, here we go. Whoops, oh my gosh. I think I made my hole a bit big. Oh gosh. It's always the way when I first start. I don't think I can actually, no, you can't, see, you can't make your hole any smaller. It should settle down. It's just the first few are always, for me anyway, a bit of a mess. But yeah, I could have made my little hole a bit smaller, I guess. Can always make it bigger, hey? Can't make it smaller. Could have, you know, if I could have put the resin, the white resin, into another bag and started again with a smaller hole, but I think it'll be all right. It's just those first few that when the bag's so full and there's a lot of pressure for the resin to come spurting out. I think it'll be all right once I empty the bag a little bit more. So anyway, here I go, dotting, and more dotting. If you don't want to watch me dot, feel free to fast forward, and I'll see you at the end. I'm hoping I can sort of speed it up a little bit now like this, which is what you want. You don't want to have to sort of wipe your edge every single time. You want to be able to just do this. But yeah, it just took me a little while to get started. All right, now I think I'm into the rhythm. We have a rhythm. Hopefully those first few that I did won't be too ugly or wobbly. But yeah, I would suggest making your hole a little bit smaller to start with. Okay, 2 down. I think I might just wind this up actually. Give it a wind. All right, here we go. Now it is good if you can sort of put the dots off center from the previous row, but it's not always possible, and I'm not going to take my time to try and get, you know, the dots in exactly the right spot. I'm just going to go for it. So now I am actually squeezing with my thumb and forefinger a little bit just to get that resin to come down, whereas before it was just, you know, flowing out all by itself. Another one there. And it's up to you, you know, how many dots you want to do, how close together you want to do them, how many rows, whether you want to put some glitter in the middle. I'm not going to, I'm probably just going to use my little pipette there, or you could use a syringe, just to sort of suck the middle out and make it look a little bit more uniform. Okay, I think this is going to work out okay, you guys. It's always the way, you know, when you're doing something a little bit different to how you would normally do it. I don't normally do my colors separately. I normally, oh gosh, look at the mess. Yeah, normally I would just drop alcohol inks in, but I wanted to have this beautiful sort of blending of colors, so that's why I've done it this way. Okay, I think that's about all I can get in there. A little bit left. I guess you could, if you wanted to, go around again, because the resin has started to sort of move away from the edges. There's room now to put another little row between these on the edge. And because this mold has got a little lip, you probably don't need to do that. You just have a clear edge, but I feel as if I kind of stuffed up the first row, so I'm going to go again and do another first row. Just in between though, these other ones. Because the resin, as it's curing, it does move from the outside in. So it's a good opportunity, if you wanted to go around and put another row in where there's a little space. Make sure that you've got this tucked in, you know, you wouldn't want that dragging in your resin. I did that once when I was, you know, very new to resin. And then I thought, okay, I'm cutting them off. I'm cutting the tails off in future. Okay, last one. All right, now the resin's getting quite sticky now. All right. Let's, I was going to say I was going to spray that with isopropyl, but I'm not going to. I'll just wait. I've changed to the silicone mat that I bought. So yeah, I'll just, once it's dried, I can peel it off. I just don't want to spray any isopropyl, and you know, maybe a little bit will go in here and that'll ruin it. We don't want to do that. So what do I want to do in the middle here? I'm not sure what I want to do in the middle here. I'll just leave it for a little while and see what it wants to do, see if it's going to move. Hopefully I haven't left the resin too long. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I need to clean up my mess, but I may come back and just suck the middle out. Depends on what it's going to do. Actually, I might do that now. Just wipe my hands on a baby wipe. I will just wipe this actually. I've got a baby wipe. It's very easy just to spray some isopropyl onto a baby wipe, away from, you know, your work, and clean that up. I just like to clean as I go. I've got a nice new silicone mat here. I don't want it getting dirty. Second time I've used it. All right. So what I think I'll do is I am going to just grab my heat gun just on low, and I'm just going to help everything move. I'm just going to put on low. I've only got high and low, so low. I'm just going to give it a bit of a push from the outside in. See if I can get that moving a little bit more. I'm just a bit concerned that because I've done things differently this time, I've waited too long and it's not going to get much movement. Normally I would see more movement by now. This will also help pop some bubbles as well without having an open flame near your work, near your mould. So what this is doing, it's just sort of thinning the resin out again after I've waited for it to thicken, and hopefully get it to move a little bit more. Alright, so now what I want to do is, I'm just going to cut the end off this pipette here, take it back to about here, where it starts to widen, like so. Need to make it straight though. Okay, so now what I want to do is, you could by all means just leave it like that, you could swirl it, but I think what I want to do is I want to make it look as if it's going like that in the center. So I'm going to find the center, give this a squeeze. You could use a syringe if you prefer. Find the center, give it a squeeze, and then let go, and hopefully we'll get a pretty little center. Squirt that out. You can do it again if you want to. It's not quite where I want it. I want all of those little dots to come in, and I think it just finishes it off nicely like that. See, little flowery shape in there. All right. The outside's moving nicely. The inside, I don't know if it will. The outside always moves faster than the inside because it's got further to go. The ones on the inside, they're already on the inside, so they probably, you know, they don't have as much room to move, but hopefully they will move a little bit. I'm going to cover this with a net, and we'll just come back and check on it. Hopefully it'll work. Where did I put my nets? And I'm just going to put like probably just a black. Oh, maybe not black. I'm not sure. Sometimes some of the colours, when you put them against a black background, they look like that sort of baby poo brownish colour, which I've had happen to me before, so I don't know if I want to use black. Alright, well that's looking, it's not looking too bad. Just hoping the middle will close up, but yeah, it won't move as much as the outside. And also being an oval, it's going to move like at different speeds because the side's got further to move than, you know, the shorter side. So a round would probably be a little bit more symmetrical. Actually, maybe I can use my Crystal Edge round tray mold next time and do it again. But I'm loving the colours. All right, wish me luck, and I'll see you soon. All right, it has been, I don't know, about 6 hours or so. And still a tiny bit bendy, but I'm keen to see what it's going to look like. Now, as you can see, the outside has spread. I don't know how many rows that is, 2 or 3, and then from here, nothing really has happened. So it's not going to be exactly, you know, the traditional fireworks, but hopefully it's going to be interesting, and I'm keen to see what the colours are going to do. So let's get this out. Actually, let's put that bit of black card there. I'll do this, and we'll see what it's going to look like. Because I have done a fireworks in this mold before and it worked beautifully. So it's obviously just the temperature of my resin that wasn't quite right. But yeah, you change one thing and you get totally different effects, hey. But like I said, I'm keen to see what the colors are going to look like, and if I like them, then I'll do it again, and maybe a little bit better next time. Okay, are we ready? Let's see what this looks like. Ah, look at that. Oh, it's really, it looks as if it's curved. It's not, it's flat, but I guess because the sides are thinner, it looks as if it's like curved down. Look at that. I'll bring it up so you can see. What do you think? I really like the colors, actually. So happy with the way the colors have turned out. Just and the outside has spread really nicely. Just this middle hasn't done anything. And it's probably, I'm thinking it's probably because my dots were too big. So they kind of dropped and just kind of sat there rather than dropping and spread. So let's do it again. And I think I'll use my, where is it? I've got one here. I'm gonna drop things, dropping things. Do you remember this? It's the Crystal Edge tray mold that I use for my Larimars. So I might try it in that because it's going to be sort of come in more symmetrically. So we'll see how that goes. And I may or may not try this blotching of the colors again. I don't know. I really like that pastel rainbow color, and that's exactly what I was going for. But the fireworks haven't worked exactly how I was going for, so it's a 50-50 win there. All right, but you let me know what you think of it. Look at the center. That's what I wanted with the center, how it sort of sucked everything up. So it looks pretty rather than just blobby in the middle. So it's interesting. Not what I was after, but it's still interesting and it's still pretty. And we learn along the way, don't we? All right, so there it is. Let me know what you think of it. And I will hopefully see you all again for the next video. It is still bendy enough that I could, if I wanted to, you know, bend it like that, bend it like Beckham. You could leave it like that. But we're just going to leave it as a little tray because it's already got its little lip. See? I don't know if you can see, but you can see that there's a little lip in there. So there it is. All right. Thanks again for watching. Lovely having you here with me in my new studio. Hopefully I'll see you all again real soon for the next video. Take care. Bye for now.